I'm OG, y'all new to the game.
What is up, everybody? So, got some stuff going on here. The past 3 days, I've been working on the car practically non-stop. Doesn't look like much has got done, but with these builds, there's always a lot of small hiccups and things going on. So, I'll just get started here in the engine bay. So, as you can see, I got the Mark IV shifter in place. It's actually bolted in and everything. I'll show you guys the inside in a minute. For the rest of the engine bay, I'll be honest, didn't do much. I was doing other stuff, but the brake system is completely done. I know those brake lines look like shit, but I was just test fitting. I'm gonna undo them. They're not all the way in, but I'm gonna undo them, and I got the bending tool. I'm gonna rebend them nice so where they come up. Just trying to make sure everything was the correct length and that it fit. Let's see what else we got here. So like I said, here wasn't too much. Got the new master cylinder. Trying to see. The only thing I'm having issues with right now is, as you can see, the steering column knuckle. I don't have the boot that goes over it. So, and if you guys are not aware, that is one of the most difficult parts to find, is a Mark II steering knuckle boot that's in good shape at a junkyard. And so I may have to go on the forums and start asking people about purchasing one from somebody. So that's what we got there. I ran into a hiccup. Well, let's go over here first. So the brakes are on, brand new brakes, pads and rotors all the way around. Then over here you can see that red stainless steel line. That's the ECS tuning stainless steel brake line that goes from the caliper to the actual steel brake line. And then on the rear, I have the custom made ones that are for the Mark IV calipers that you need, that go to the banjo fitting. So you can get those off of like a Passat or something, but realistically, I mean, I was buying the stuff, and I mean, they are kind of pricey. The rear ones with the banjo boats are $70. So from ECS tuning, but I was putting in a big order, so I just added them on there. So one of the things that kind of postponed a lot of work getting done was, one, I put a huge order with a Volkswagen dealer thanks to the TDI issue. So thanks Volkswagen for all the parts. But anyway, the order that I put in has a lot of my intake manifold gaskets, exhaust manifold gaskets, and all that kind of stuff, and it's not here. So that's supposed to be arriving today or tomorrow for sure. So I'll get that done, and I'll show you guys the motor inside and everything. The other issue I ran into was, since I had the the Mark IV calipers, but I used to have drums on this car, I couldn't use the e-brake cables, and the e-brake cables were total, like, destroyed anyway. Oh, here goes one right here. If you look how rusted through this e-brake cable is, all the way down, you know, total trash. And then they were supposed to be for a drum as well, so it didn't really fit. It probably wouldn't have fit right. So I ordered ones for a disc brake setup Jetta, and they're a little bit, you know, they're the same length. I actually had some in, but I guess I ordered the wrong ones and they were too long, so that kind of sucked. So we'll move on to the inside. I got the door handle in properly because I was having issues with it. So yeah, the inside doesn't look like there was much done either, but yeah, you can see the Mark IV shifter in here. So what you got to do to get a Mark IV shifter to work is, you can see I had to drill 2 holes, one here and one there, and then you also have to make some kind of bracket. I haven't tack welded it yet, but to get it to like sit in nice, so you got to drill 2 holes for the front studs to come through, and then the brackets, and those are not tightened down all the way because it'll go up a little more. Then right here I got the Mark III stocks. I was at the junkyard, and one of my Mark II stocks was a little cracked. It's always been that way, so I was going through and I found those at a junkyard for pretty cheap, so I was like, well, why not? So I have the Mark III stocks, and then I have to wire in. This is the cruise control too, so I'll have full cruise control as well, which will be pretty nice. So yeah. Alright guys, so we're in the garage now. So I want to show you guys this motor mount right here. This is another issue I had, because originally I was going to go with a Mark III subframe, and I totally, spaced out and totally forgot. And this is actually the mount I needed, so I had to go to the junkyard. It's an O2A mount. It is the O2J transmission. So these mounts is the ones you need to put them in the Mark II subframe. But as you can see here, which I'm not done yet, but you see all that nasty soot buildup in the intake ports, and you can see that one has a nice little good 2 to 3 millimeter layer caked on there, and that's one of the issues you get with this motor with the EGR setup. So as you can see, we cleaned it off really well, sat outside, took us like an hour and a half, 2 hours, with some wire wheel brushes and a lot of degreaser. And we cleaned the hell out of this thing. And I can tell it's probably leaking from like the valve cover gasket on this side, which I'm gonna be buying that kit as well. And here's that custom motor mount right there, and you can see you have to clock the turbo up to get it to clear. So we're not done with that, because the turbo's not gonna go straight up, because of course you can see that nut in the way. We just have to clock it kind of back a little bit. But yeah, that's pretty much what we did there. And like I said, the EGR cooler goes in that general area as well, like right in between the intake manifold or right behind it or something, and that got deleted as well. And this is the EGR. Let me show you guys how nasty this thing is. You see that in there, how it's all lifted up a little bit. If you look at that, this is why everybody does EGR deletes on this motor, because it is a bad EGR setup, and that is no good for your motor. And here goes the intake manifold. That it looks, we got it pretty clean, and then I got it hot tanked at a local shop, the one I always go to, and I just haven't finished cleaning it out with a brush and everything. But alright guys, so a little update on the Mark II. So we got the brake system completely done and bled. The clutch cable, which is right here, it's leaking out of the back of the head right there. As you can't see now, but when you actually put pressure, it leaks out. So I gotta order one of those. And it's supposed to rain tonight, so I'm trying to figure out, some water was getting in the car. I'm pretty sure it was coming from here, because I don't have a filter, and that's just like a mesh, and the drip tray is gone, so it needs to go somewhere. And also from there, there's a little hole, which I'm kind of irritated, because that means the dudes didn't actually do their fucking job at the body shop. So I'm gonna put some stuff, like I have a plastic covering that, and just probably turn this and kind of tuck it in there so it covers the hole. And if my water issues are gone, then I know that was the problem. So, and got to finish cleaning that up and figure out how I'm going to seal that up, because that's going to be an issue down the road if water keeps getting in the car. So yeah, there's not really, we did some wiring. We're trying to figure out how the brace is going to go on. It's not bolted in, but how we're going to deal with the brace with the radiator and the intercooler and all that stuff. I haven't figured out a place for it yet, so it's coming along decent. We got some stuff hooked up. We got some other stuff, like some coolant lines and stuff that are not needed anymore, deleted. This is another issue too. The line that goes to the head is actually broken, so I'm probably gonna have to order that little elbow, or figure out if I can find an aftermarket universal, like small elbow, like a straight one with a small little adapter, like that's actually aluminum or something, so don't have to worry about that plastic breaking anymore.
To me.